Chapter 2. At the frontier, Harker wasn't the only person who had an important phone call that Tuesday evening. At 10 o'clock, the phone rang in the customs shed at the frontier. The phone rang 3 times and then one of the 2 customs officers in the shed answered it. "Hello, Frontier Customs here," he said. "Hello," said a voice. "Inspector Rowland here." "Hello, Inspector," said the customs officer. "What can I do for you? Do you know a man called John Samuel Fame?" asked the inspector. "Yes," said the customs officer. "He crosses the frontier a lot, perhaps 2 or 3 times a week. He's a businessman, that's what he says," said the inspector. "Do you know him?" said the customs officer. "Very well," said the inspector. "What do you want me to do about him?" asked the customs officer. "Watch him," said the inspector. "Search his car." The customs officer, whose name was Silver, put down the phone. Silver was a thin man with a high forehead and large ears. He crossed the room and sat down on a chair by the window. "Who was that?" asked Rank, the other customs officer. Rank was a much fatter man than Silver, with a small mustache. "Inspector Rowland," said Silver. "What did he want?" asked Rank. Rank was sitting on a chair with his legs up on a table, reading a newspaper. "He asked me about John Samuel Fame," said Silver. "Who?" asked Rank. "John Samuel Fame," repeated Silver. "The businessman who crosses the frontier 2 or 3 times a week. He always drives a smart grey car." "Oh yes," said Rank. "What about him?" "Inspector Rowland told us to watch him," said Silver, "and search his car." "Why?" asked Rank. "The inspector didn't say," said Silver. "Oh," said Rank, and turned over a page of his newspaper. Silver opened a large exercise book that was lying on the wooden table in front of him and began to write in it. A fly landed on Rank's head and crawled down his forehead and nose. Rank brushed it off and went on reading the newspaper. The clock on the wall behind him ticked loudly, and the fly crawled across the right shed over his head. Just then, both customs officers heard a car. Silver looked up and stopped writing, and the guard outside moved out into the middle of the road. The car came round the corner and stopped beside the guard. The guard told the driver to get out. The driver switched off the engine and the headlights, got out, and followed the guard up the wooden steps of the customs hut. The guard opened the door for him and the man went inside. Silver, the thin customs officer, looked up. John Samuel Fame was standing in front of him. Fame was wearing a smart dark suit and an open-neck shirt. He was a tall thin man and rather good-looking. "It's me again," said John Samuel Fame. "Your passport, please," said Silver without smiling. Fame gave his passport to Silver. Silver opened it and turned over the pages. While Rank went on reading the newspaper, Fame stood the other side of the table and waited. "Are you John Samuel Fame?" asked Silver. "Yes, you know I am," said Fame smiling. "And are you a businessman?" asked Silver. "Yes, of course," said Fame. "Why are you crossing the frontier?" asked Silver. "On business, as usual," said Fame. "How long are you going to stay here?" asked Silver. 2 days, as usual," said Fame. "What is all this? Have you anything to declare?" asked Silver. "Nothing," said Fame. "Have you got any luggage?" asked Silver. "1 suitcase," said Fame. Silver turned to the fat customs officer. "Go and have a look in his car," he said. Rank nodded, folded the newspaper, and went outside. Fame followed him. "Where's the case?" asked Rank. "In the boot," said Fame. "Let's have a look," said Rank. Fame opened the boot and pulled out the case. "Open the case," said Rank. Fame opened it. Rank put his fat hands inside the case and felt among the clothes. He pulled out a thick brown bottle. "What's this?" he asked Fame. "Medicine," said Fame, and laughed. Said Rank, and put the bottle back. Then Rank looked inside the car, and under the car and on the roof. Fame stood and watched him. Rank found nothing. "Follow me," Rank said to Fame, and the 2 men went back into the customs shed. "He hasn't got anything," said Rank to Silver. "Right, Mr. Fame," said Silver. "You can go. Good night." "Good night," said Fame. He went out and shut the door, walked down the steps, and over to his car. He got in and shut the door. The guard walked over to the pole across the road, and lifted it up. Fame started the car and drove off. The guard lowered the pole and watched Fame's car disappearing into the distance. Inside the customs hut, Rank, the fat customs officer, picked up his newspaper again and went on reading.